Baldwin on the inside line. On the outside line, there is Sam to Hand. There's contact further back to Hand, trying to get around the outside, and there's more contact. Mike Ligo goes around into the gravel trap in the WPI car, and Sam to Hand spins as well.
Did you have contact? It looks like on the screen you did.
Round 6, Donington Park again for the second time. Tomorrow's race, 3 hours long, so that's actually the longest race I've been involved with. It's going to be a challenge, but it's this. I want to win. I really want to win.
For this round, they've got a 45 kg weight penalty. Affects overall straight line performance, affects your braking, affects your tyre wear. And then they've also got a 15-second time penalty that they have to include on their final pit stop. That 15 seconds is going to have to be made up on track. So yeah, it's going to be a real challenge for them.
3 clean pit stops. Me and James drive consistently. Hopefully we'll be there in contention at the end.
You don't get complacent. I'll keep putting hours on the sim, I keep training in the gym, and turn up ready to, perform.
That was actually worth £4,000 at Wingman. And I'm not that is £4,000.
No.
Just for the weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So Bob's been on the phone to get the marshals to come and pick it up. The first session, James did have a little bit of an incident where he managed to wipe out his wing mirror on one of the tyres at the S's.
They're going to be expensive. Nice piece of carbon.
So it's not £4,000.
Won't be cheap. Have you retrieved it yet?
Yeah, you brought it back.
How was it?
I said I'd give him 20 quid for a drink.
James's head's blown.
It'd be nice to be on poles. I feel like we generally have the pace for it, but if we do get picked and end up, second, third row, it's a 3-hour race. We have high standards now, so we need to try and match it,
Trust yourself.
Okay, James, 1 minute till green. Keep going, you're half up it, Sam, keep going. Currently P1.
James again did the job in the first session, so that always, as it has done the last few races, puts us in a really strong position going into the second quali.
We were 2 tenths clear of second, but it's on an average, so Michael's got to do a pretty decent lap.
Go.
It's going to be close, mate. .26.9. We've got it.
Yep, you're on. Good job, boys. Well done.
Pole position, mate. It feels sick. Yeah, like underneath this media trained face is a very happy guy, so it feels good. It just falls into place at the critical moment, which I think is like the perfect thing. So yeah, really happy. I'm improving every time I get in the car, definitely. I still feel like I've got a lot to learn, to be honest. It still feels a bit rusty in certain areas. In F1 esports, like your lap has to be perfection to be anywhere near the front, whereas that was like a scruffy lap.
And do you know why? The variables. You have to be way more adaptive in this than what you do in F1 esports. With James's background in esports, one thing that he's really having to open his eyes to is the fact that in real motorsport there's so many variables.
So it's not even worth me comparing the last time we were here to this time on it.
Well, the track's just different anyway. Temperature, everything.
Yeah.
Rubber down. BOP's different as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't even.
How conditions can make that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's not gaming anymore. Not unpredictable track conditions. Not like ACC on a green track and on an optimal track.
The reality is, there's so many variables in real life that you can't be as consistent as what you can on a game. And what we tend to find with James is that he's almost striving for the level of consistency that he can achieve on on a sim, but that isn't quite possible in real life because of all of these different variables.
It's just part of the learning process. I feel like, yeah, like an apprentice learning on the job type thing. Pit stops again. Race start, I know what to do there. If he's behind me, take the normal line. If it is side by side, brake when he brakes, type thing. So he will try and put it around the outside.
Yeah.
All good in the hood. Might as well get ready, really, isn't it?
How good am I? Yeah, see you in the start.
It's up to me at the start to pull a gap, to make us a bit more comfortable when the pros come out, but I'm confident. To start the race, we've just got to go. I've got to, when the green lights go, stay in the lead, do exactly what we did at Brands.
Round number 6 of the Intelligent Money British GT Championship bursts into life. James Baldwin on the inside line. On the outside line, there is Sam Dahan. There's contact further back to Hans, trying to get around the outside, and there's more contact. Michael Igo goes around into the gravel trap in the WPI car, and Sam Dahan spins as well. Sam Dahan's second in the championship. It's all kicked off through Redgate Corner. It looks as though the number 2 car is held onto the race lead.
Did you have contact? It looks like on the screen you did.
The guy in second was completely alongside and going to the first corner. Unfortunately, the guy in second did spin, but we've luckily just been cleared by race control, rightly so as well. James didn't do anything wrong. So, we're all clear to press on.
Right, safety car's in this lap, safety car in this lap.
The safety car is in, James Baldwin floors the throttle, and as we go on to lap number 3 of the race, we are starting again.
Hang on, what have we got here?
That is Ian Logging from second place off at the old hairpin. This is major drama.
The gap now is 8 seconds. The guy behind the funnel, you're lapping a second and that quicker than the car that's P2.
James is so impressive. Look at his pace. He's in the 28s. He's just had another 28 lap now, whereas Rob, his last lap was a 30.1.
Right, so now on lap 18. We started lapping other cars a few laps ago, dealing with it really well at the moment. The plan is to max out his first stint, basically, go as long as he physically can before the fuel goes, basically.
Baldwin now coming up behind some traffic. What's he got now? A nearly 16-second lead, and every lap he's in the 28s. Every lap, Andy.
Yeah, really consistent and consistently quick.
Box now, Ashimate, box. Tires, please.
Into the pit lane goes James Baldwin then. So James Baldwin, the race leader, is in.
Michael O'Brien getting into the car now.
Driving very within myself, but it seemed to be the only way to drive it, you know?
Perfect. And your pace in the traffic was good, that's the thing. Like you weren't losing too much time.
I had to get the best start. I had to compensate for that by being quite aggressive at turn 1. And the guy in the Merc squeezed me, made some contact, and next minute I look in my mirror and he spun round. So initially thought it was my fault. I don't think it is. Well, obviously it's not because we haven't got a penalty. And it was a good stint. So the strategy is just I've got to be reactive and ready to whatever happens. Because I mean, even now, if there's a safety car, I'm sure I'd be going in the car. But it's a new experience for me. But it's all good.
Team Rocket RJN car, Michael O'Brien, takes over first position now as a result of this second pit stop for the 72 car. And all of a sudden, we go from having the top 2 cars separated by a minute to having the top 2 cars separated by less than 15 seconds.
Good job, box this lap, please. Box. Okay, copy. Start engine.
Right, so James has just hopped back in the car for his second stint, currently sat in P9. Obviously Michael's just jumped out of the car, did a great job, similar to James, like really good pace, getting through traffic. Finished his stint in P1, so he couldn't have done much more than what he did really. And now it's just a case of James doing the same again, just keep out of trouble and keep getting good lap times in traffic.
P2 is probably about 20 seconds.
Your pace is good, you've got about 10 more minutes.
You sort of got caught up behind a fellow McLaren. Their car doesn't quite have the pace of ours, so at the moment James is sort of stuck behind him. Just sort of considering whether we should bring James in and try and get ahead of him in the pit stop. But obviously on this pit stop we've also got our 15-second mandatory penalty as well, so yeah, still a lot to do, but in a good position.
He's pitting.
Coming to the pit lane, James Baldwin is in, and Michael O'Brien will take over for the final pit stop. 15-second success penalty to be served here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I think we've got the net race lead. I don't understand how we don't have the race lead.
You weren't fast enough.
Yeah, good stint. I think we're in the lead, or maybe second, so strong stint. I didn't make any big errors, had good pace, wasn't far away from some of the pro lap times, so I'm happy, really happy. Minutes left. Michael's doing the remainder of the race, and it's very hard to say where he is right now, but he's got to sit and wait. I mean, he's doing consistent lap times and they're really competitive, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be in the front when this all plays out, you know.
Keep calm, mate, keep calm, just do what you can with it.
This is for third place, Patrick Kujala ahead of Michael O'Brien. The reason that is so significant is that they are the highest placed cars that have completed all of their stops.
Okay, P2 in the race now, 25 minutes to go, keep pushing.
Battle for second place, Michael O'Brien and Phil Keane.
Phil Keane's coming up behind you, you might as well let him go because he's the fastest car on the track. You've got to concentrate on no track limit.
So we've got 14 minutes of the race left at the moment. The Lamborghini's on some newer tyres, so it's looking likely that he's going to get overtaken, which he has.
It is a 6th different race winner in GT3 from as many races, and Ram Racing take the victory here at Donington Park. Third place goes to Michael O'Brien. Another podium result for the Jenson Team Rocket RJN McLaren.
Well done, mate, well done. P3, podium.
Third place, not the result you always want, but in fairness, I think there's nothing really more we got.
We'd never be disappointed with the podium, but we're slightly disappointed. It looked like we had the strategy to win and the pace, but the pace just wasn't quite there.
There's not really much else we could have done. We couldn't have finished second or first today. There were a few minor mistakes from us, but nothing major.
I think when they reflect back on it, they'll be really pleased with the result, and they can look forward to more success in the coming rounds.
We're still very much in the hunt for the championship. So yeah, just see how we go, see where we end up, and keep pushing.
Another podium, getting a few of these now, which is great. I've got 1 third, 1 second, 1 first now, so I've completed the podium, which is nice.